Okay. Okay. Okay, now it's recording. Okay, so I'm just going to restart what I had just mentioned. So what you see right now, just on the left, is just a browser, which I'm going to use for some examples of printing to OneNote. In the center is OneNote, and I've got a bunch of different notebooks here on the left, and then just a couple of File Explorer, because I can show with some of the Dalton stuff, files how I printed them, and then you can use them, and write actually on them through a tablet or something like that. But this started when I was about to start my MBA, getting ready to transition from the military, and I was trying to figure out a way to best organize my notes and how to stay organized. And I came across this, and it's compatible with since it's a Microsoft Office product, it's compatible with the rest of the software, which makes most sense versus like using Evernote or something like that. But so I created this. You can see on the left here, these are the different notebooks I created, and each notebook, it's like a very organized binder. So I'll take, like, for example, this is the MBA notebook, and when underneath this notebook are all these different sections, which then each section, you have pages here on the right, and the pages you can even make into sub pages. So it's just super organized. And then you can even, like, our MBA program was broken into themes, and so you can also make multi-section groups, which I'll just show you right here. You could, if you actually, but here's how I broke down each class. So each theme would have multiple different classes, from marketing, leadership and organization, finance. And then, so I'll just look at leadership and organization. I had the emails from the professor over here on the pages, the deliverables, case studies, slide decks. And then when we were in class, I would print these files, these electronic files, to OneNote, and then that all shows up here. And then when in class, when we're going through them, you can write, like, I used a Microsoft Surface at the time, but now I've, like, my iPad, you can write directly onto them, which is better for retention anyway than they've shown than typing. And you can just keep your notes. Sorry, my handwriting is horrific, but I think you get the point here of what you can do here. So I'm going to go up to, this is the notebook that I created for the CFP studies here, and I'll go right into the Dalton prep one. I went through the American College, and so I have all those the coursework for all the different courses in here organized, with all the different sections. And so anytime I need to go back from reference, let's see here. Okay, so for the Dalton prep, what I did, went into the different files. I created different sections here. Like, I had some just admin that they talked about, and I remember the first class, Chris Tuttle had mentioned this. I'm like, okay, that might be a good reference. So I just screenshot this, printed it to, and pasted it in here. Let's see, here's the schedule. They had some getting started, and then I have all these different sections broken out for each of the different areas that they had. And as you're going through the pre-studies, you can save those files, and then I print those to OneNote, and you can take notes on them while you're listening to the recording. Here's all the live classes. So and I'm going to show you something here, because it'll do this right. I've got my tablet here as well. So what I'm going to do is go into this same page right now. Live classes, class 1. Okay. And then this should update right away. Everybody see that?
Yes, that's good.
So, I mean, it's really cool. And you see it updated right on my computer immediately, and this you have on your phone, your tablet, your computer, everywhere. And it all updates, very, very quickly. But so I would print out these, the classes, and then when they're doing the discussion, you can just go through and take notes. I was a little bit slow. I was so busy at the time. Um, but here you can just see, here's one where I started taking much better notes. But it's, as you're going through, you can highlight what you need, what's important to you, and then always come back and reference back. When I was the last week before taking the exam, I went through each one of these just to make sure, just to get a touch on all the subjects again, so that I'm not just focusing on those super hard problems that may or may not even be on there, and just kind of a quick, let me make sure I don't miss any simple stuff. And just went through all the different notes, and having my written notes on there was helpful to me to provide uh, additional reminders for what was important to me. Anybody have any questions right now, as far as anything they'd like to see from the Dalton prep stuff? Because I also got the infographics, so I've got all of those here. Depending on which program you get those. There's Let's go. Here's risk management. So they had some of the different insurance. Actually, it was just one they had, but all the different sections here. There's the investment planning. So where you talk about modern portfolio theory, it takes a second to get to catch up. Tax planning, that probably had the most. But it's very useful. And so what I'll do here is just show, let's see, I'll go into office hours, and I'll show you how I do this. So you have these electronically, and it of course pulled up on the other screen. Come on. Okay. So there's the office hours right there, and here's how you get it to OneNote. How I typically do it, but you just print, and then it gives you an option, where to print. And I print to OneNote desktop. I have a little issue with OneNote right now. It usually, when you print this, and oh, sorry, you pick which, I don't pick automatic on here. I pick whichever way makes sense for whatever I'm printing, whether the material's in landscape, then I select landscape or portrait. Don't do auto, because it usually does it in portrait, and sometimes you don't want that. So that's one thing it doesn't select very well. But now it's just printing to OneNote. This is where I probably have to uninstall and reinstall OneNote. It usually, when it's done printing, it would give you an option of where you want that printout to go. For some reason, mine's defaulting all to this investments investments section, and so that's kind of annoying. But usually but yeah, you just move the page wherever you want. So I'll just say, I'll just call this sample office hours. Okay, and then I've already got, if you look over, you can see it, sorry, office hours there, and then you can see I've got all these sections, but the office hours are also there. But to move this, you can move or copy, and then it gives you, pulled up on the other screen so you don't see that. This is what usually happens when you print. It asks you, where do you want to print this page, this page to. So in this case, I'll go, let's go down here, office hours, and you could copy it or you could move it, but I'm just going to move it. It's gone. Now, if we go to office hours, bam, there's office hours. That's what we just printed to OneNote. Any questions there? Okay, guess not. So I'm going to just delete this though. But you could also move this around. Actually, you could just you could just go like this, say you wanted it in retirement, whatever, some different section, you could do it like that, or you could move it over here and it'll move it the same way. But a lot of times I like right clicking. I showed before that just made that a sub page, but you can make pages if you want to go a little more organized, like like I showed on that MBA one where I had, quizzes, do outs, slides, whatever, but you can come in here and right click and just make it a sub page. And so you can get it even more, more refined depending on how much you want to organize. So, okay, and I'm just going to delete that. Now I'm going to go in and just create a new notebook. That way you can see, can everybody see what I'm doing here?
Yes, Alan, I have a question.
Yes.
When you are listening to the videos, you take your notes on the OneNote. You don't take any on paper, is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
I just sit here. Can you see this? I've got, sorry that my background doesn't help. I've got my iPad, so I'll listen to it on the computer or even on the phone. And then I've got my iPad, and I just write directly onto the iPad.
Okay, thank you. That's what I was wondering.
Yep. And you saw when I was writing earlier on when it's in,
Yes.
that was using the iPad pen, the iPad pen right on my iPad, and you saw it pull up almost instantaneously on the computer as well from displaying.
Okay.
So to me that's easier. You could, Teresa, you could write out notes on paper and then scan all those and then print those to OneNote. That's another option, but that's much more labor intensive.
I prefer writing on the iPad. That'll be perfect.
Okay, yep. Excellent. Okay, well, I'm gonna demonstrate just creating your own notebook. And as you see, I mean, I've got, just real quick, I've got like my whole life on here. Um, uh, I do program management, and so a lot of meetings and minutes and actions. I do my notes right on here, and everybody can see them. It's public typing, so it's kind of embarrassing for me at times, but but I can put the actions and then immediately shoot these out. Because you can share these with people, or say you had actually a housing. You can email these right out by clicking on email page. It pulls up. Select whoever you want to send it to, and voila, meeting minutes are out to the entire group in a couple of minutes after, or immediately after your meeting. So where we do travel planning, like things we're thinking about, lessons learned from it, keep it all here. Whoops, I don't need to show that. Home stuff, this is where we all go grocery shopping and things like that, right? And you typically buy the same things, not every time, but the same stuff at the grocery store, at Costco, at whatever, right? So why have a paper list? I've got all my shopping lists here for different places. Trader Joe's, we go there a lot. So here's typical things, and you make them little to-do lists, and you're like, wait, we need some more blueberries, dried blueberries. Uncheck, and you've got an auto shopping list. You can update immediately. I do a lot of barbecue, and so I barbecue, typically it's the same ingredients I need, right? So I just uncheck whatever I need before going to the store after looking what we have. I've got my shopping list right on my phone. Check it off as I go. It works great. Menus, we eat at a lot at the same places for takeout. So I've got like examples of like sushi that we'd eat, and here I'd circle like which ones are gluten-free because so someone has a gluten allergy. I can circle which ones we like, write little notes on it, and then recipes, so, and I'll show an example of that. But you find recipes online, then I print them, so I've got recipes for all different things broken down by beef, poultry, fish, pork, Instant Pot, veggies, salads, whatever. And so I've just got everything right there, and I can just bring my iPad right into the kitchen, look at the recipe and go from there. Now I'll go, any questions there? I'll show how to do that from the website too, but let me go into creating a new notebook and some of the things I was showing. So we'll just go new, personal, yep. Notebook name, we'll say demonstration notebook. And if you guys need, like, you know, have any questions or things that you want me to cover specifically, you could invite people right away, but I'm not going to. But now I've got, you see, I just got this new notebook right here, and it created an automatic new section 1, which you go in, rename, section 1 sample. Okay, and then you can go in here, add pages. Page 1, you can add another page, or you just print to this notebook and it creates those pages. And let's make this just so you can see how it is, subpage of page 1. And then you can go in here, you can just move it with your cursor, or you can right, I'll move it back out. You can right click, make subpage, and now you see it's under there. And you can then easily just make these all subpages of page 1, etc. Does that make sense? And
Yes.
then to create different sections, whoops, it didn't change the name there. Okay, to create more sections, you just hit the plus here, and it comes, and you can change the color coding however you want. But what I found is very useful especially for like courses where you can, instead of over here in this area, if you right click and do the new section group, like I was telling you about, this is then under this section group. Now you can go and click on there, and there aren't any sections yet, but now you can go, quiz. I'm just gonna act like this is a class. Quizzes is 1, readings. So I told you my public typing can be a little weak. What else? Office hours. Live classes. And now you've got all these different sections, and you can go in and just create your own pages or print print whatever your slide decks to the appropriate sections inside this multi-section group, which then you can get out by clicking on that, and you still got the other sections already there. Any questions there about the basics of creating your own notebook?
No, thank you.
Okay. Let's see, and let's go. I was going to show. Okay, so you see over here, I just pulled up like just different ways that you can print like things that you find online, whether it's menus or recipes or whatever, travel information. Are you guys familiar with these Chrome extensions?
Yes.
So this is the OneNote Chrome extension, but if you want, you could just go, if you don't have that, just go in and say OneNote extension. And then this comes into here, which shows, okay, there's all these extensions you can ultimately get. I've already added it, but otherwise you could say add to Chrome, and bam, it pops up right there. But when you have that, now you say, here's a bunch of the gluten-free rolls, and I want to be able to see this anytime I want. So you can just click on that, and there's different options that you have. You could print the whole page, which shows everything, or you could just do the article, so it trims out all the rest of that stuff. And then you select where you want to print it to, which is already playing around in menus. So is there clip? And there it is. And you can change the word, you know, whatever you want this to be so that it makes more sense. You can also have these searchable. So like when you have printouts, you know, a lot of times you can allow, let me go back to, I'll go back to Dalton. Okay, you can come up here, Control A, select all of these, and then right click, and you can say make text searchable, English, and then all this, even though it's a picture, a lot of times, a lot of these things, the software is smart enough to, you know, to be able to make those searchable, and then you can come in and search, and it'll search all your notebooks for whatever you're looking for. Like, you know, as you later you're studying, saying, let's see what 1031. Up, and this pulls up all those locations where 1031 on there. So like, what was that 1031 exchange? Bam, click on there, goes right to it. Okay, oh, great. Here's all the information. Oops, see somebody at chat, so. Okay, yep. That's one thing, I'm not good at monitoring chat while I'm doing something like this. Any, I want to see is if that was enough. Does that make sense? Or do you have any questions?
That makes sense. I'm going to start using that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank
You're
you.
You're welcome. And just to make sure, like, is there anything else you want me to go into? I try to kind of give a little sample of different things. Oh, and you can also, let me show you how to share the notebook. So you can come in here and then share, and you can give people access, either editable, which I don't like. The default is editable, which you don't want. You can always go in and if somebody changes it, you still as the owner have the control, but you can come in here and change it to can view, which is what I do when I share these. And then you can type whatever the email is, so a message to them, and then voila, send, and then they've got it. Okay.
Thank you. That's good information.
Yeah.
Yep. You're welcome. And I'm actually, hold on. I'm going to stop recording if I can figure out where it is.